Hey, this is Jeff again with Valhalla Ventures, ReGuideService.com, ReIGUIDESERVICE.com. I want to do a real quick video and talk about why people don't make as much money as they think they're going to make when doing real estate investment. Why the money is not really as grandiose as you might think. There is good money in real estate. Some deals you're going to make more money than other deals. But the reality is that the numbers are pretty slim. And we're going to just for easy reference make those numbers 100K. Okay, this is what the total value of the ARV, let's just say that, ARV, after repair value, that's the total value of this property. So if you buy this property at 65% of ARV, okay, if you buy a property at 65% of ARV, that means that you, minus repairs, of course, which repairs equal, let's say 10,000, just for easy numbers. So right now you have a total purchase price on this property because you have a $65,000 purchase, but you also have to subtract the repair costs from that. So that's 10K. So you're at a $55,000 purchase. Now that seems like, okay, well, I'm purchasing for 55, I'm going to put 10K in it, and I'm going to sell for 100. That means that I'm going to make $35,000. Well, here's some things that you need to know. Out of this 100K right here, automatically, it's going to be about 10% for closing costs. Okay, so that's minus $10,000 day one. Now, if you don't use a real estate agent, you've decided to do all the showings and for sale by owner, sure, that number's going to come down a little bit. Do I suggest doing that? Absolutely not. I always suggest working with professionals. I've been selling real estate for a long time. I don't actually sell my own real estate. I get a real estate agent. That's their profession. That's their expertise. That's their niche. My expertise, my niche is investments. So I let the experts do what the experts do. So if you take that, you're now at $25,000. That's what your profit is, because you've gone from that $35,000 minus the $10,000 to $25,000. Now let's just say this has an overage and you just go over $1,000, 10% on your budget. That's not unrealistic. So minus 1K, so now you're at 24K. Okay, then you have holding costs. Okay, you're gonna have to make sure that you take care of all of that, and your holding costs, let's just say your holding costs are only $5,000, okay? So now you are at $19,000. Now here's the thing, if anything goes wrong and for some reason you can't get this ARV because you didn't spend all the $10,000 or the $10,000 just simply wasn't enough, even with that extra $1,000, and you can't get that full retail, well then obviously anything below this number also comes off of this number. So you have holding costs, you have closing costs, and then of course you have the unknowns. And the unknowns can be very risky. But where you are right now before any of the unknowns is you're talking $19,000. So on a $100,000 project, you're talking $19,000. That's 19%. And that's if you do all of the work. That's if you take care of everything. That's not you hiring a general contractor. That's not you hiring people to do the things that need to be done that might wind up costing you even more. But that is you hiring that real estate agent. But the numbers, so even though it looks like, oh, I'm going to be making somewhere around $35,000, the reality is that those numbers are far less. And anytime you have any issues, if you go over time, if you go over budget, any of those things are going to severely affect this number quickly. 10% of $100,000, if you do 10%, reduction in value of the property by 10%, you're talking 10 grand. You could now be looking at making only 9. Okay, that kind of percentage, when you get in the 19% range, you got to think about it from the standpoint of an investor of your money. Why would I, not knowing what I'm doing in real estate, make 19% return on the total investment? When if you are an investor that has this kind of money, you could go loan it to someone as a hard money loan, private money loan, and you could be getting 14% plus 2 points at closing. So you're closer to 16%. So 16% return on your investment guaranteed protected by real estate where you don't have to do anything and you're always ahead of the game, or do all of this and try to figure it out on your own. But doing this in the long run is going to be the more beneficial route for some people. If you have a ton of money, then maybe this isn't the route for you. Maybe the route is to do the hard money loans, the private money loans. But the reality of it is that there's a lot of things that can happen in between these areas here that can take this number down 2, 3, 4 points very quickly, very, very quickly. So you need to make that consideration. If you have money and you're thinking about investing in real estate, maybe actually going out and buying a property isn't the best route for you. Maybe you work as a hard money lender. Maybe you figure out all this stuff to make sure that the person you're loaning the money to knows what they're doing on the finding the deals, the fixing them up, all those things. You loan them the money, you protect yourself as the lender. You know, you can get an IRA. There's lots of things that you can do to make the tax benefits even greater too, because, you know, obviously if this is realized gains, you're gonna have to spend more money on taxes on this. So putting your stuff through an IRA, regardless of which way you're going, is a better route. But I digress. Make sure that you understand the breakdown of all the numbers, the risks, the rewards, because once you have all that information in front of you, you're making a decision. That decision you're making shouldn't include any kind of gambles. There shouldn't be any kind of unknowns. If there's a plumbing situation under the slab, well, you need to figure out what that plumbing situation is going to cost you before you start really putting any of your own money into that deal. Put the time into it to figure out what it all needs. That way you're not stuck in putting your time and money into it later down the road because you didn't do a proper evaluation. If you need any help, if you have any questions, I do evaluations on properties. I do analysis on commercial, residential, multifamily. Feel free to reach out anytime you want. My name is Jeff, ReGuideService.com, Diva Hall Adventures, REIGUIDESERVICE.com. Be blessed, bless others. I'm out.